As most of you already know, I'm sure, Booktube-A-Thon starts tonight at midnight in whatever time zone you live in, and I am here today to bring you guys my Booktube-A-Thon TBR pile. There are 7 challenges this year, and they are quite a bit different than the challenges from last year. And on top of those challenges, I am also one of the unfortunate souls that is taking summer classes. However, I am determined to do Booktube-A-Thon because, like most of you I'm sure, I've pretty much been waiting for this moment since Booktube-A-Thon ended last year, finding readathons where I could, but none of them are quite the same as Booktube-A-Thon, and Booktube-A-Thon is the reason that I joined Booktube, and in fact tomorrow is my 1-year anniversary making YouTube videos, and that's really exciting. So what perfect timing that it starts on my 1-year anniversary. So I'm just really excited to share with you guys what I'm going to be reading, and I can't wait to hear what you guys are going to be reading too. The first challenge is to read a book with pictures, which is not something that I commonly do, but I do have a book that I asked for my last birthday after hearing so much stuff on Booktube about it, and it looked kind of creepy, which is my style. I don't get to reading creepy stuff as much now that I'm really into fantasy, but I'm really excited to read this, and that is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. It's super creepy, the pictures inside freak me out, and I am super excited to read it. The second challenge, possibly the most difficult challenge in the whole Booktube-A-Thon, is to start and finish a series. Now, at first, I was like, finish a series? That's awesome, because I'm rereading The Mortal Instruments, and I got the new book and haven't read it yet. But I would have to start back at the beginning, and that was not going to happen, so I decided to go for a duology. After a quick Google search and checking out Goodreads duology recommendations, I found out that I have the first book in a duology, or at least what Goodreads says is a duology, and I've been wanting to read it, so I figured, why not just get the second book and make that my start and finishing of a series. The first book is Anna Dressed in Blood by TBR Blake, which will also be fulfilling my red on the cover challenge. I actually have 3 books that have red on the cover, which is kind of funny since I'm not a huge fan of the color red. As far as I can tell, this is in fact a duology. I couldn't find any information on a 3rd book, but since I haven't read it yet, I don't really know how it all leaves off and if there's room for a 3rd book. But I do know that as of right now, there are 2 books, which makes it the beginning and end of a series. So that means that I will also be reading Girl of Nightmares by TBR Blake, which I just picked up the other night, and as you can see has a lot of red on it. I'm not sure why I picked the one that has less red, maybe because it sticks out against the black and white. But anyways, I will be reading these 2 books to fulfill that challenge, and I am really excited and off to a super creepy Booktube-A-Thon start. The 4th challenge is to have someone else pick out a book for you. Well, I have about 1 billion books that I need to get to, and I live with my mom, so I was just like, hey, can you look at my bookshelf and pick out a book? Meanwhile, I was sitting there secretly hoping that she would pick a certain book that I have been waiting to read, and lo and behold, out of all of the options, she actually picked the one I wanted to read. To fulfill the book that someone else picks out for you challenge, I will be reading Hex Hall by Rachel Hawkins. I have been super excited to read this book because there's a series around it, and then there's a spin-off series, and I see them every time I go to Barnes & Noble, and I'm always wanting to read the rest, which I obviously have to start with Hex Hall to do that, so I cannot wait to read this. I feel like it's going to be a super quick read. I've heard great things about it, and I think I'm going to be able to just really get into it, and it'll be great material for a readathon. The next challenge is to read a book in the genre that you have read the least of this year, which was pretty much an extremely open challenge for me since I've almost exclusively read young adult books this year. I've read young adult, and I've read Christian fiction and nonfiction, so basically anything but those were fair game, right? So I decided that I was going to choose between adult or children, going for the opposite ends of the spectrum. I remembered that last year during Booktube-A-Thon was the first time that I finally decided to pick up the first Percy Jackson book, and I got around to reading Sea of Monsters, and then life happened. School, and then other series, and I haven't picked up any more of it yet. So I figured it's a children's book, which I have not read any of this year, and it'll be a really quick read, and it'll move me along a little bit in the series, which if they make a 3rd movie, even though it'll be awful, of course I'm still going to see it, and I will now be prepared. So without further ado, The Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan will be my Read a Book in the Genre You Have Least Read challenge. For the book-to-movie adaptation, I really struggled with this one, which is kind of funny because I read and watch a lot of book-to-movie adaptations. I own a ton of them. I just love them so much. The book's almost always better, but they're just so fantastic. Originally, I was going to read The Book Thief, and I'm really excited to read that because I refused to watch the movie until I read the book. But I spent all of last year taking history classes because I love history. Well, the last one I took was a Modern Europe class. I didn't really think that that would be the best book for me at this time, and I also know that it's going to be a book with a lot of emotional content that'll take me a while to get through, and I don't want to rush myself. I want to allow myself to feel whatever I need to feel during the book, so I decided to go a different direction. I hope that rereading is allowed for this challenge and rewatching because I have decided to reread Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead, one of my favorite authors, and I will be rewatching the movie since I own it and it is easy to access. I really look forward to this because once again it's kind of a quick, fun read. I've read it before and I know I love it, and I've been wanting to reread it since I saw the movie. For the final challenge to either read 7 books or an average of 300 pages a day, I am not sure what I will be doing. I am currently at 1,997 pages. I am less than 200 pages away from reaching that, so I might just tack on a short book at the end if I get through all of these. I'm in a writing class right now and a math class, both of which are going to take time, so I will be happy to get through 6 books, honestly, in 7 days, because that's just insane right now. But if I do get to it, then it's kind of going to be a mystery what's going to be the fastest, the easiest, or what is the most exciting to me. I might just cheat and continue my reread of the Mortal Instruments series so that I can get to the 6th and final book. I got it a few weeks ago for my birthday from my sister, and I have really been excited to read it, so I know I could get 200 pages out of that easily. I wouldn't technically be starting the book, but, you know, close enough, right? So anyways, that is my TBR pile for Booktube-A-Thon and also for July, as I doubt that I will get much beyond that before the month is over, other than possibly the newest Bloodlines novel that is coming out at the end of the month. I am super excited for Midnight to Strike, even though I have class early tomorrow morning, so we'll see if I actually get any reading done before that. But either way, I cannot wait to start Booktube-A-Thon. I cannot wait to see your videos. I cannot wait to see what you guys are reading. Give me feedback, too. If you guys have a suggestion for what I should read for my 7th book if I get there, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're reading. Link me to your TBR pile videos and Twitters and whatever else, and I will see you guys at the starting line. Love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!